Mine fell off.
But I just tried to sit and second her. So there's that's right. She just needs to. Not bad for no. Middle of the hour.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody's a fidget this morning tonight, something like that. And now it's too much hurricane of the get out of here. You think? That's to be.
In a minute. You get to the wall, yeah, I know, they do wanna run away from old people. You don't know that yet, but it's gonna happen, yeah, if you live long enough. Look at it.
Yes.
I don't want any of that.
Stuck on my brain already.
No.
Big countries.
Because I'm tired, you're gone.
You work with kids.
I'm tired all the time.
Oh,
There's still somebody else out, and they can go out there.
Okay, we don't look at it, so that it's in case. Good deal. Yeah.
Another one.
And I just go put this on.
yeah, the auditor's coming, so. Right?
Yeah, he'll be here by 5:40. He's doing an audit of Susan River Fire Department. So he said he'd probably be leaving.
Call the Herlong Public Utility District regular meeting to order. Do a flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Mrs. Rodriguez. Here. Okay. Mrs. Hurd.
Here.
Yes, young lady.
Here.
Yeah. Okay. You. Danielle,
I'm here.
okay.
Sorry.
You here? I'm here. 5 are here. No absence. Okay, approval of the agenda. If somebody wants to approve the agenda,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as it is. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as is.
I'll second it. It's been first and second by, I'll wait till she gets back.
First, you have first by.
Yeah, first by,
Me.
yes, and second by you.
Okay.
Public comment in person or Zoom, not to exceed 3 minutes each on one items, not agendized each. Public member wishing to make a statement in person must fill out a form so the board president can recognize you before you speak. Again, 3-minute limit.
Mr. President, we had a first and a second. We didn't all vote
Oh, okay. All those in
in favor
favor
of
of
approval of the agenda.
approve the agenda? Sorry.
Aye.
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 Opposed, nobody. Okay, sorry. Hey, was there any public comments? Anything on Zoom?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. Minutes, review and possible action approving the minutes of July 28th, 2026 regular board meeting. Bray, you have anything to add or
No comment?
Teresa?
No.
No, good going.
And me there. Motion for that?
Move to approve, the minutes of July 28th, 26 regular board meeting.
I'll second. Thank you. Time,
All in
certain?
favor?
Hmm?
All in favor?
Yeah, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Okay. Financials review and file July 28 financial statements.
So, just with your audit being in here, so your July check register, your bank account balances, your investment spreadsheet, knowledge sheets, and your financials all included in here. Along with your delinquent account logs. And then your July is submitted without the 2025 audit adjustments, and that had the 2025 audit adjustments and retroactive. So we call this be everything current moving forward. We also have, we talked about earlier, probably next month, we will be reviewing the budget to add the approvals that we've done in the last 6 months to that budget, the projects that we have going on. Any more questions or comments regarding the financials or any of the attachments?
Brianna, you have anything?
No comment.
Teresa?
No.
No, sir.
Done.
Me either. So. All those in favor, if I have a motion,
To review and file the financials.
I'll make a motion to review and file the financials.
I'll second it. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Well, we're 5 minutes early, I don't know, but I don't know if he's ready for us yet.
It was an easier drive this year. I don't had to come down from Tuesday, so,
Oh, well, that wasn't bad then.
no, not bad at
On the
all.
way home, huh?
Yes. I'm assuming everyone has their packets, all right? So we'll start on page 1. We have our independent auditors report. We have an unqualified report here, which is the highest level of opinion you could get. Ones you don't want would be either disclaim or a qualified opinion, just so everyone understands the terminology there. And from there, let's move on to the management discussion analysis. This is just kind of an overview of where the district is and where it's been. Did want to point out as of next year, though, Sandy, you're gonna have to increase it because they're changing the management discussion analysis to adding more kind of narratives of beyond just the numbers.
What does that mean, Zach?
Yeah,
So currently, it's just like, this is where we're at now, this is where we were then, but next year they want to go, well, why was it different? We got a grant or there was a big fire, things like that, that would explain the discrepancies that you would see in the numbers.
Oh,
Which I think we talked about like in 2023 when we had the project
Yeah,
in West Patton Village. We included those, but
yeah, so they're just trying to make it, kind of now it is a repeat of the financials, but maybe a little broken down, and they want it so that someone who's not here could read it and have a better understanding where the financials, like why something was different. We had to hire another water operator. That's why our salaries were higher, things like that.
and yeah, because we have 3 projects, so we're just starting now, so that'll have to be addressed for the next audit then.
And so that would be a perfect example. We have 3 projects. We didn't have those last year. That's why the numbers are different. So someone can look at that and have an understanding without, coming in and asking questions.
Thank you for explaining that, Zach. Any board members have a question?
No,
Okay.
And so then the financials really begin on page 9. Here we have our statement and exhibition. You have your governmental activities, which are the fire ones that are supported by the property assessments, and the business type activities are the ones that are supported by the user fees. The water and sewer. And technically parts of lighting and everything there, but not really a lot of user fees on at those points. And then on to page 10, we have our income statement. And this one just breaks out the income expenses for those different, water, sewer, lighting, those ones. And then on to page 11, we actually split it out in more detail for the water, sewer, lighting, and parks. And page 13, here we have our income statement again, we broke it out for the different funds. Then the water, wastewater, lighting and parks, obviously one of the things you don't actually have any revenues for the parks. The only ones that have ever come in were the grants. But you do have an allocation of expenses to that fund. And as you can see, both of the two major funds, which are water and sewer, were in a deficit of the 335,000 and the 171,000. But both of those are less than the depreciation, which was kind of what you had previously budgeted, knowing that the plants and facilities are gonna last longer than what is the depreciable time frame. You know, after 30 years, the plants aren't gonna be worn out and you have to throw them away. They'll still be there. On page 14, we have our statement of cash flow. It's just like the one up above, but instead of the depreciation, which is the non-cash thing, it's just cash in and cash out. As you can see, the sewer fund actually was positive cash flow. The water fund was almost positive, but you had that 459,000 that you invested in equipment. So if you took that out, you would have had a slight positive cash flow there as well. And on the page 15, we have just about,
And just to explain that
Yeah.
459, I believe wasn't that left over from,
I think
the project?
it was the end of the project, paying all the,
Because we didn't end up getting that money reimbursed until February or March of the following year, even though the project ended December of the year before. Sorry.
yes, that's correct. Page 15, we have our fire fund balance sheets. Pretty well, just like the one above, the only difference is you don't have your long-term assets, which is that mostly that type 6 that you received, I believe was this last year, correct?
No,
It was the year before, that's it.
2022?
No, it's been a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
it was a $250,000.
yeah,
truck.
and then starting on page 17, if there's nothing really else there, we have our notes for financial statements. This goes over the accounting principles that we used in the creation of the financials. Nothing really very interesting to note. Scroll down. To a 28. This one's down in the present. This, the table second to the bottom, it has the discount rate, so this is the net pension liability for CalPERS. Currently says you owe 70,000, very reasonable. If interest rates were actually to go higher, you would actually be in a surplus of 116,000. Or if interest rates were actually lowered by 1%, you would owe 297,000. So just wanted to show how much interest rates can fluctuate that number. Yeah. And then on page 32, we have our budget versus the actual. Again, the big variance in the actual numbers versus the budgeted numbers, you have 426,000. Is again, because you don't budget for depreciation. And
What'd you say, Zach?
you don't budget for depreciation. You guys don't have a line item in your budget for depreciation of those long-term assets. So it looks like you're way over budget. But that's just been the historical way you've always done it, is not having a budget for depreciation.
Small districts usually don't budget for depreciation because it would be 50% of your income. At least, depending on what fund it is. I mean, like, when we did the fire fund, if we funded for depreciation of a brush truck, and all the money we got for the next several years would all go in depreciation.
I was wondering about that. And on the, back to the fire, this money here is actual money, but we don't show anything that's owed to us, right? That people haven't paid their fire taxes.
There is some of that on there, and
Yeah,
zip back up.
beyond your accounts receivable.
Yeah, for accounts receivable, you have 43,000 in outstanding assessments for the fire.
That's money that's still owed, it's outstanding then.
Correct. And the unearned revenue on the bottom side of 20,000 is essentially people who have paid before it was due. Because you send the bills out, but they're not actually due till after the year, but some people see the bill, write you a check, or however they pay.
A lot of people, because we send them out December 1st, they want that write-off.
Mhm.
So we get quite a bit of payments before December 31st,
Hmm.
which actually means they're prepaid for the current year. So that $20,000 is an asset that it's prepaid for the following year.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So as what the president said, the fire fees, so those that are not paying are in the residence, right?
What do you?
Our residents are the ones that are
Correct.
paying that fire fee, right?
Yeah,
District residents.
Yeah, so when the ambulance shows up at your door, whether you paid or you didn't pay, it could be, the fire, our fire. Our
The fire
volunteer
fee.
fire people
Right,
come to your door, whether you pay or you don't pay, you're not singled out because you didn't
Right,
pay or
right.
nothing, but
right.
it's nice if we get paid where we can have more funds to do stuff.
Well, I agree, except because a lot of us are paying for that fee. And if there's somebody that's in our residence not paying that, that's not fair.
It gets attached to their property.
Oh, it does?
Oh, yes, they're
Okay.
So,
their property.
About 5 years ago, the board, and with the help of our attorney, we put together a policy that we could start putting liens against those.
Oh, okay.
And so we have recovered, because at that point in time, I think we were closer to about 80,000 in past,
Well,
the people we hadn't collected from.
mhm.
So usually every year in the fall, we usually bring to the board how many people haven't paid, and then we do a hearing and, then. Cause we send out a delinquency notice, we send out a letter letting them know that we're going to,
put a lien on their property if they don't pay. And again, you get that whole group of people again that'll pay for the end of the year because they're like, oh my gosh, you know, we're gonna pay. And then if we don't hear from them, after 45 days, then we put the lien on their property.
Mm.
And then when to release that lien, unfortunately, it costs them, $10, it's like the fees at the courthouse plus the fees for notarizing both, because I have to notarize it to put it in, and I have to notarize it to do a lien release. So it's almost an additional $45 for the liens.
Oh.
On top of the regular fire taxes, so that whoever we have to put liens on have to pay for the notary funds and the filing fees.
Okay, kind of like late fees?
It's just a wash because unfortunately it doesn't count for the time that it takes me to sign. You know, like when we first did it, I think Sherry and I set 3 days. We set aside 3 to 4 hours for 3 days and signed. But that was, well, it had to be, because Trish was still here, so it had to be 21, 22 when we first started those liens, because she printed out all of those for me, and then I had to sign them all,
Yeah.
notarize them all. So yeah, and now we just we were doing them on a annual basis, and we started doing more so on it. We found out that a lot of times if we send out a late one is every 2 years, because a lot of people will pay if they know that there's gonna be on there. If we send them a late fee, they'll pay, but the continuous ones that don't pay, then every 2 years. So unfortunately, those that are past due 2 or 3 years probably have 2 or 3 liens on their property.
Oh, well. Okay. Thank you, Sandy, for explaining that to me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay, Zach, I'm sorry, we
Yeah.
got off of a little venture there, but we wanted to find out what's going on.
Yes, no worries. And then on page 34. This is the report on internal controls over financial reporting and compliance. Basically, this is just letting you know that I reviewed internal controls in planning my audit, but I don't specifically audit internal controls. But during my review and planning, I didn't see anything that is alarming.
Hmm.
So auditing internal controls would be going through and making sure that everything is doing it exactly as what is written in the policy manual. And I don't do that. I just take that and use that in my planning of the procedures. And that's all I have for the audit.
Thank you, Zach, appreciate it. Coming down and explaining everything to us.
Sweet and to the point.
Rand, you have any questions for the auditor?
No comments?
No, I do
Teresa?
not. No.
No, I'm good.
Well, just thank you for the explanations. There's a
Yes.
lot to read and not understand. Believe me.
Yeah. Thank you as always, Zach. You always do a good job for us.
All right.
Appreciate it. But someday down the line, we'll actually pay you, I guess.
Gas money.
I mean, we want to make sure that's in our audit that, you know,
Yeah.
good standing with Mr. Zach, so.
The audit.
So it's an item, to review and accept, the audit.
I'll make a motion, we accept the audit as presented to us by the auditor.
And I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
I,
Carried. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it. You don't have to stay for the rest of the board meeting, I'm sure, but yeah.
All right. Thank you.
have a safe drive back.
Yeah, thank you, drive careful.
All right, thank
Yeah,
you.
wish there's no fires.
Yes, I was worried about that.
Okay, we got the fire department updates, calls, information, and staff report.
So there was 19 calls in July, 18 medical, and one was a possible hazard with propane smells. Volunteers continue to train. Monthly meetings, we had a monthly meeting today. I even put it as a Zoom because we had a firefighter or a volunteer that wasn't feeling well, but thought maybe she could Zoom. But unfortunately, it was just Mike and I. We went over mandated reporting, and I handed him some of the mandating reporting, kind of came to an issue at one of the recent calls. Mike was pretty concerned about the care of an elderly person that was called for. And right now, our insurance company is putting together a proposal of what policy and how we should move forward on those items. So I will be going back over that with our volunteers in the next couple of months once I get that from our insurance company. But Lassen County doesn't have their own mandated reporting forms. They're all state forms, but then you turn them into the county. And Brianna has offered to, walk through with the volunteers if they feel like they didn't help them fill it out. And because she lives in Susanville, could drop them off at the sheriff's office. That comes to a point. As an employer and as a GM, I'm, if we do interns, I'm liable for mandatory reporting for people that are under 18 for children. But our volunteers, unfortunately, are mandated if they see a situation, whether it be an adult or a child, to report. Which is a very touchy subject. If any of you have ever had to deal with elderly abuse or children abuse, you don't want to call the kettle black unless it is. So no pun intended there, but you could ruin somebody's reputation by making an assumption that isn't there. So we'll keep working on that so that everybody feels comfortable and it can be investigated. I mean, it is the sheriff's and whichever, whether it's adult elderly abuse or whether it's children abuse, would be depending on who would come out to investigate that too. But we don't want to harm any of our neighbors by making a false assumption either. So with the remodeling, we're gonna get a smaller trash bin out at the fire garage so that we can start cleaning that out for the next month on a weekly basis, so that we don't have to spend 2 days out there trying to fill a big trash bin, but have a smaller trash bin so that like on a weekly basis, maybe an hour a week of throwing things in there and filling it up and being done. We went over a reciprocating saw that the volunteers had asked for, and it looks like we can probably order the battery, the blades, and the saw for right at or close to $500. So we'll get that ordered. The blades are what's gonna be the thing, probably. I mean, they're a 3-pack, but if they have to use it, that's probably gonna burn up those blades when you're talking metal, with a reciprocating saw. But something to think about for next year's budget, we'll be looking at or trying to see if we can get grant money for a new Jaws of Life, so that it's something that's manageable and the guys can train on, or our volunteers can train on. The other thing we received was the new 988. So we discussed a little bit about mental health, not only for the community, but for our firefighters, because of the things that they see. Unfortunately, we had another resident pass away. And then one of the calls this month was somebody that actually passed out in the car, and they had to cut her out with Syad. So it was an interesting problem. And then one of our volunteers is going to be moving, so she is going to bring in her water and sewer bill next week, payment, and bring in her information. So we'll be down to 4 volunteers.
Yep. I have a question for Enosh.
Yes.
having been in the ambulance business many years ago and some of the severity of the things that you all see, do y'all have any kind of a debriefing process when you've seen some horrific, horrible things?
I try to do my best because I'm the only one qualified to do debriefing with our department currently. But currently, we do not have an actual process that's actually laid out in paperwork. I could make a process all typed up in paperwork for standard procedure if you guys would like, and present it to Sandy, and Sandy can look at it and present it to you guys. Currently, what we try to do is we try to have once a month for all calls, do a general debriefing. What I like to do is I try to have firefighters sit together and we go over what happened over the month, to be able to work out together. And then I look for any indicators of anything that would seem like, uh-oh, this person might have something I need to report as some sort of mental health thing. I am qualified to do a PHQ-9 score to just periodically test them on that, which is your depression rating and stuff like that. You know, and cause I do that every day for my job with InmaCare now as well. So we can make a standard procedure for that. In general, what you're supposed to do, according to what I've learned, is if you've done a structure fire, a wildland fire, or you've witnessed something absolutely horrific, you should have a debriefing. You can't force volunteer firefighters or any firefighter to do any mental health anything, it's their choice. But it is very, very much encouraged, and once a month I try to have them do a debriefing with me. But if you guys would like to have some sort of standard procedure to make sure that they're all taken care of, I can make a paper that lays out process and everything if you'd like that. I can also work with Sierra Army Depot and their person that does briefing to make a nice good form that with what they do too. Cause I try to work with them with, if we work together on a big call or something, he does say, hey, you gotta do debriefing, he does try to do it with us as well.
Brandon and I can probably reach out, and SDR might even have a policy or CSDA on some of that, so we can kind of get something together. And if we get two or three, if Enosh gets a couple and we get one, then maybe we can make something that fits our volunteers and the board can approve.
Sounds good. It's really important. Believe me, I know.
Yeah, thank you. Enosh, did you have a report today too?
I turned in a paper.
Yeah.
Was it I emailed it to you? No,
I didn't get anything
oh,
from,
you didn't, my computer's been having issues because of the fire, it has melted fiber optic cables, but. So I can go over briefly what I did, so.
Enosh, can you stand up with the pulpit?
Yeah, I
please?
understand. So for our, this month, you know, with training and everything, you know, the first things that I put in the thing since the last dates of the report up until, I believe it was like right before I had to turn it in, I do apologize, but anyways, we had sadly lost a volunteer firefighter, other than, you know, the one that's leaving, you know, due to, disagreements with work policy and stuff. He is very knowledgeable, but it is very sad to have lost him because he did make it to where we could have a lot more training than we did before. This month, we've done as much trainings as we could, but we've had a couple of family emergencies in the different departments. So what I've done is I took it upon myself. I have done multiple trainings on my own. Is for free. I got certifications and turned them in. I did HIPAA and I also got RT1. There's like RT700 and another RT1. I forget what it is, but I turned in those, and I also did because I could and it was free. Flood safety training as well. So I could be able to get some more hours with that. Each training, except for the flood one and the HIPAA one, took me about 4 hours. And the other two took me 1 hour, so I could be able to get that in. And Mike and I are working on trying to get over there cleaned up a bit to get it ready for the remodel as best as we can. Make sure we have it all nice and easy for everybody. And then we had you know, the resident has passed away sadly on that call. Mike was the one that was there during the call. I was in Westwood on my way back because the fire just started. My wife and I went to go have dinner, had to go around the long way, you know, had to go all the way around through Susanville. That would took me like 4 hour drive. So, but you know, I was in Westwood when the call went out and I arrived on scene after they cleared the fire department, but as chaplain, I stuck around and I stayed with the family for about an hour total and comforted them and everything. And I'm working with the family to be able to help them with what happens after someone passes away, because it's a long process you don't really think about, and it's and it sucks. So, but I know, but we've been working hard to try and get more trainings and stuff. On a happier note, Sierra, when they had their little command center set up, their brand new mobile command center, they invited Mike and I to be able to go look at it, be able to tour it. So that was fun, being able to look at the command center. I saw it popped up out there when the fire's going on. I'm like, wait a minute, the fire's not that close. So, but we got to go look at it and everything. And then the county has decided to look at the church over here as the local evacuation center. Because we have a nice big facility with bathrooms and food and everything, to take care of people. So in the event of a disaster, Hurlong will be a place where people go to for help. And our volunteer department, we're gonna get, hopefully, I'm getting FEMA out to give us some more training and stuff. But our volunteer department will be able to be involved with that and give us more training and stuff. And then the assistant chief from the Sarah department on that day also talked with me and just talked with Mike, and I asked him to reach out to Sandy. I don't know if he has or not, to do some trainings in my building over there as well. He said that he has a special visor that goes on your SCBA unit, which is the oxygen tank and mask, that makes it seem as if you're in a fire. Because those firefighters, they're used to their facility, they train on their facility all the time, they have to lay out memorize. They say, well, you got a big building with lots of doors that we have to try to open and stuff and search around it. We'd love to fumble around in your building, so they're gonna be about fumbling around in my building, see if I can get some church members and volunteers to pretend that they're injured and screaming for help. We have a good fun day and work on a big training day with that. Then also they said that they wanna look into doing a active shooter training over at my facility as well. And that would be a county-wide training, including, sheriff's department and highway patrol and everybody. So that would be a very good training if Sierra can convince them, and maybe we can work with them to convince them to be able to do that. I know from, being pastor side, church side, I'd love to have that training done at our facility, because we need it out here. Because it's needed to be able to be up to date with all these different types of trainings, because for, an active shooter training, even though as firefighters, we don't have any weapons or anything to go in it, a part of our training is we go in it while it's active. We're right behind the police officers, and if we own, bulletproof vests, which we don't, and praise the Lord, we haven't needed any, but we're right behind them as they're going in, and then the police say, all right, go take care of this person, we'll take care of this person while doing it. So it's a scary thing, but it is a much needed training, especially in modern day.
So when are they gonna do that training?
Working on trying to convince the sheriff's department and highway patrol to get a countywide training going. They just recently had a countywide training for that done in Susanville. So trying to get another one going right after that takes a bit, might be, 4 or 5 months. Because we have to coordinate with the whole county. But it would be nice to have that training. The other training where we get to fumble around the building, pretend it's on fire, that could happen sooner, just depends on when their schedule lines up with our schedule. But the assistant chief did talk to me a bit, and I hope to hear he's out to Sandy, I don't know. But he did talk to me a bit about maybe we could have trainings over at the church facility more often, because it's a building they're unfamiliar with. Be able to do, let's say, if there's more than just an active shooter, but like earthquake training, even though we don't really have that as an issue here, they can still do it there. And have church members and people able to pretend that they're injured. I have a spot that's great for what we call swims. We have confined space training, we have holes and stuff where you can't fit through normally. You have to do like a swimming motion to get through it. We have perfect space to be able to do that in full gear as well, right underneath our baptismal. And then, so they're very excited to be able to do trainings like that over at my facility over there. So I'm very excited to let the fire department use it to play around in it. Just like I said, when we get that computer lab going, fire department can be able to use it for whatever is needed. So, but been making good progress with that, and we're working on trying to have some good trainings. We're still trying to keep good relations with Susan River to have trainings with them when they have trainings available for us to do with them as well.
Thank you, Enosh.
Thank
That
you.
was very enlightening. Thank you.
Anybody else anything to say about fire department or calls or anything?
No, so there is two outstanding volunteer applications that I've reached out to several times. They don't have any experience, and the college is actually offering a wildland fire class and a volunteer academy this fall. Since I can't seem to reach them via email, or I'm not getting any response via email or phone call. We did put that information in the mail to them last week, hoping that we would get a response, because unfortunately, without them having any training, this would be the best thing for them to do, and that, you know, the district could pay for them to go to the volunteer academy or do the firefighting, the wildland fire class, which would be very helpful. So I'm hoping to hear something back, because plus we sent them their drug application so that they can get drug tested. So those are the three things I'm still waiting on, that we could possibly have two young people that with no experience join, but I'm yet to get a response. I got their application, but I can't get a response after that. So working on that, but we do have 4 members that are pretty strong, because Mike's been with us since the beginning. Enosh started with us, took a little time off, but is back and is doing both fire and medical, even though he just wanted to do medical and chaplain. So he's doing that. Joseph White is been working with Child Coop before, so he's a volunteer firefighter who's been to the academy in the past. And Carly, who is over next to Patty, she is actually an EMT, and she's on our department. It's just getting her availability, when she's not working or going to school. So, but it's nice that all 4 of them live in the community and own their homes, so they will be a good, strong four-person base, and it's just adding to that base. So hopefully getting some help for Enosh and Mike.
You have anything, Brianna?
I did have a question about your actors for your survival thing. Are you gonna reach out to the community to find volunteers for that?
Yeah, we'll be reaching out, get training going, if we can get it going. I'll be reaching out to our regular food pantry volunteers. If community members want to volunteer, we can make I don't really want to make a flyer and have too many people there, because then it becomes a whole nother mess. We can see about reaching out to people that we know and trust, that are reliable, that aren't gonna be there just to cause problem, or go, hey, can I get some more food from the food pantry? I'm here anyway. But hey, if you wanna be there and have fun, then maybe I could even work with the school, see if we get some high schoolers there. Be good to get them some
That'd be great.
stuff over.
Mrs. Turk?
I think she had a
Well, no,
question.
I'm trying to go down the line.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I was just noticing on here about, need the board to approve as a volunteer. The name of the person, Joseph White.
Thank you. Yes, Mike and I had told you last meeting that we had met with him and did his orientation. He had a work injury from work, so he was just getting off of had another week or 2. But we have never approved him. So yes, if the board would grace us with approving Joseph White as a volunteer, even though we've retroactive, I'd appreciate it.
And he lives in this area. in
He
this district?
lives down in the Flats, not too far from Mike.
Okay,
Him and his wife purchased a house down there, I wanna say about 18 months ago.
okay.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve, Mr. Joseph White as a, volunteer for the fire department.
I'll second that.
Oh, we got 2 seconds
Okay,
there.
you go ahead. Go ahead.
All those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
Danielle? Do you have something on the,
No, I think, thank you, Enosh. That was very well spoken.
yes, you are.
I have a question about volunteers for the training for, fires and what have you, the volunteers, people who put their lives in your hands for training. What about liability if someone should get hurt doing that?
I would be, it's my facility at the church. I have liability insurance with the church that is very good. Somebody trips over a crack and says, ouch. We got very good liability insurance. And it wouldn't, be on the department and that, and part of it, is there's people that are going to try and injure themselves. That's why with the food pantry, we have we're the biggest food pantry in the county, so we have lots of people that come by. Some people come by just to abuse the system in the food pantry and look at the church that, oh, we could sue it and make some money or whatever, so. We got very good liability insurance with the church.
That's the church, though. We're talking about the fire department
I know that Sierra has good insurance. I don't know what ours looks like.
for us as being over the volunteer fire department. Will that liability fall on Huron
Well,
Public Utility
if-
District?
If Enosh is hosting it at his facility, he would be liable.
Okay. Tag, you're it.
Yeah, that's why I'm selected with people who can pretend they're injured.
Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for their input on the fire department. Thank you for all the stuff that you brought up, it's appreciated. And I guess we're gonna get you some little toys for you to cut metal with. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go to Danielle Bowman, policy 4097, board members, oath of office for the new board member, Danielle Bowman. And now you gotta get up and stand over here with Barbara Lee, and she will give you the.
The third degree.
So you get to raise your hand. I, Danielle Bowman,
I, Danielle Bowman,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and alliance to the Constitution of the United States
and alliance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and the state constitution,
and the state constitution,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
that
Okay. And that I will faithfully discharge, we'll just break it down,
thank you, that I will faithfully discharge
the duties upon
the duties upon
which I am about to enter.
which I am about to enter.
That last paragraph's a bit.
So we're gonna have you sign this, and this needs to be a copy of yours, and then I'll get another copy for you to sign for us.
And also your firstborn.
He's actually off to Wyotech, so good luck.
That might be something that you don't want to request. I think so. If not, we'll find out. Oh, no, you're down there. You're supposed to sign, I'm sorry, up here. And we're gonna get you another one because that says you're gonna not be it.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
That's good.
I know.
Yeah, I know some of it I will. This one's gonna be yours, but we'll make you another.
And then number 11, the GM report updates on district business.
So as of Monday, the 5 people that put in to be on the ballot and run for office. And thank you to Paul, who could be upwards to $10,000 for the district. So there was 5 open seats and there was 5 people that ran, but unfortunately at one point there was 4. Eula being an incumbent was already and would have her seat for 4 years. But there was 4 people running for a 4-year term and only one person.
For three seats.
Yeah, for 3 seats and 1 person running for the 2-year term. So, Paul signed his paperwork to run for the 2-year term, so officially, unofficially, but from the county office, both Johnny and Paul will have the 2-year term seats. And then the 3 others that ran, Eula was our incumbent, so it would be Eula Johnson, Danielle Bowman, and Belinda Larson would be, for the 4-year term. So that is, so it won't be on the ballot because there was just 5 for 5 and the seats were full.
And a special thank you to Paul because it did save us $10,000 by signing that paperwork. Unfortunately, I would have thought that the county people that took it in might have said something to a person that there's only three positions for 4 years.
Mm.
You know, I would have thought maybe they would have caught that. They did catch it after the fact. So we had to go back in and see if we could fix it. Cause you know, we wanted to save our board, you know, up to $10,000 by being on it. You have to pay for it. By doing this here, we're in. And it's great.
Yes, I didn't say anything to us in the week.
Well, Julie Bustamante retiring, December 4th and Sarah taking over, and then there's a couple of new people in there. And that's one thing that when I went in and talked to Julie and brought in Paul's paperwork, she said, we never even thought about it when everybody brought in their information. But Eula's seat, no matter when she signed up, as long as she got in there, she had her incumbent seat would have been 4 years, no matter what, so couldn't change hers. And Johnny's incumbent seat was a 2-year, so couldn't change his. Therefore, it worked out really nice and appreciate the effort. And we'll have a small fee for you guys all going in there, and we'll get billed from the county, but it's nothing like when they send out ballots to the whole district, and then you're on the county ballot, which goes out to everybody. So no matter if we're just, I wanna say 200 people here, we get charged for a portion of the whole county ballot because it's on the whole thing. So, it'll save us quite a bit of money. Like I said, it could be upwards to $10,000. I mean, we haven't had a ballot in like 4 years, and I think that time it was, a little over 5,000 we paid, but things have gone up and postage has gone up. So anyway, I much appreciate the effort and everybody, I scrambled the last week, but that was good. It worked out and everything got taken care of. Then our annual reviews this year, just talking to other GMs and coming back fresh from the GM conference, a lot of people are doing the 360 reviews, so Barbara wasn't so happy with my 360 reviews, the extra paperwork, but Maurice and everybody else has said, it's nice. So I've really enjoyed putting those together. Still getting all that information out to my staff on the individual reviews. But it was, like I said, I've got a really good staff, and it was just nice that everybody got to participate. So next week is the CSDA annual conference, so I'll be out of the office next week for the annual conference. I have an SDR main board meeting and an SDLF board meeting, and then the Lassen County chapter meeting too on Tuesday. So I've got like 4 meetings during the conference besides conference classes, so it'll be a busy week. My husband will have to entertain himself at the hotel and probably golf, but It is in Palm Springs, so it's gonna be hot.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
I'll be inside doing my thing.
Where it's cool.
Yes. And it is a Western theme this year, so, we are driving and there was no way that I was packing boots and hats on an airplane, so. I'll be right at home. Everybody else might not, so I won't have to wear my heels. I can wear my boots instead, so it'll be fun. And hope to bring back some new information for the board and staff and, just, it's always a good to collaborate with other districts and find out what's going on and, you know, and a lot of times we'll sit at the fire table and find out, you know, they always feel sorry for our part of the little volunteer department. And I always get some offers of people wanting to donate to us different items, so it's always a good chance to talk to other fire departments too. I met with Jason Colbert Construction. He'll start at the plant sewer system on 9/14. When it's completed, then they'll go forward with the fire barn training center, so it's probably gonna take at least a couple weeks. So probably won't start to the fire barn until like October. And then we'll have it done by the end of the year. Ruben, I think it was Elite Construction, won the bid for the fencing, and he's finishing up a job and plans to be out here October 1st, and we'll be done with the fencing around the wastewater property by the end of the year. Our intern, who is actually wanting to be a firefighter, he's been taking firefighting classes, and putting in the applications. He's gone through the fire academy and is now taking the EMT. Our little Owen that's been with us 3 summers and almost full time for the last year, back and forth. He turned 20 this month and Royce's birthday's at next week. So we have 2 August birthdays along with Royce's 9-year anniversary that we celebrated on the 31st of July. And then 147 Tamarack, I know, quite a few people have asked back and forth what's going on there. I have had a couple conversations with them, given the information. They're pulling permits to put in their septic tank, and then we'll be working with us to, connect to a water line, there by the fire hydrant at the end of Tamarack. And, I just told him, I said, once you start thinking you're getting close, you've got really good neighbors in Tamarack that I would talk to, Mr. Ayers and the Johnsons right there and let them know. So if there's anything they want to get out of their backyards, that we can get that taken care of, during construction, whether that's a day or 2 while they're doing the connection.
Excuse me, Sandy, I have a question. So the person that's at 147, they'll be paying for what they're gonna have.
Connection.
A connection,
Yeah.
okay.
He's hoping to do most of the digging himself, which I thought was very ambitious.
Wow. In this heat.
I said, you might wanna go to Susanville and just rent a backhoe,
Right.
That's like a.
There's the trencher.
Yeah, the trencher, so I think he's trying to get the plans to us of what he's gonna do.
Okay.
So once we get the plans and engineers and myself review them and get some time dates, I'll have more information, but he is, planning on, he's got those four pieces of property right there on Tamarack. That's right behind
Johnson's.
Johnson's place. It sounds like he only is gonna connect the far house to the water. And have a septic tank down there, but he's, wants to be part of our community, and like I said, has invested in purchasing 4 pieces of property down there, so. Which means there's 4 pieces of property, which 4 times the fire taxes.
So, yeah, that brings in some revenue right there.
Did you have a question, Belinda?
No, she answered it in what she was saying.
Oh, yeah, it's straight down Tamarack when you're looking out that trailer out there.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about.
To the farmers.
Yeah. Out by the green field.
Yeah.
Yeah, after she kept talking, then that's where it was.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the lobbyists, I had a conference call with, Megan Dolly's office. It sounds like Bruce Ross that worked for Brian Dolly's office that helped us through the SRF is now working for Megan's, which that's what I've gotten the gist of when I talked to, Bruce in the past. So they're gonna try to see what they could do in the 2027 budget for us. Hadwick's office got back to the lobbyist, yesterday. No, I didn't check my phone. Yeah? Okay. I'm like, I was texting back and forth. Anyway, they think there's some Prop 4 money. So, you know, the possibly get the screw press replaced. And then originally we were talking about money for the clarifier, but I'm juggling and depending on whether they'll reimburse us or not, maybe they could just get reimbursed for the oxidation bench since we'll be spending $250,000 on motors and getting that replaced next, you know, between this year and next year. So maybe we can replace our coffers, our reserves, for another project in the future, but we'll see how that Prop 4 lays out, whether we can get reimbursed or if it has to be a new project. But either way, we can use the money, you know, for the screw press and then whatever is left over. That all comes to fruition. We're still finding out, our new assemblyman is supposed to be able to put a name in because we lost, LaMalfa, and there was no ear tag, so they're still working on trying to see if he can get some ear tags for this year, even though it's past the time. Because that position never got any ear tags, so. Also working with, Chief Roca on, with LAFCO in the county. So that with the parks that we talked about, the wildland park out there and be able to have, training on search and rescue with them. So we put together the maps and talked to Jennifer with LAFCO. And I guess they've got to do an official hearing with the county to approve, and then it goes to LAFCO. So, I know that Jason Ingram was working, with one of the county guys with Galen, trying to get that put together, a resolution put together so that that could happen for us.
Okay, I have questions on that, project. If we're fencing 640 acres. And we will be including that 40 acres in our fencing. Now, if they come in there, are we gonna require them to fence off that where they have the 40 acres where it's separate with gates going in?
Well, they're gonna have to put in their own gates.
And fence across.
To the board, whether you guys would like them to fence off the back portion of that. It would make sense to do that, since they would keep it separate, but we were doing it originally on a trial basis.
Yeah, for 1 year.
So
Correct.
that might be something that we do as a condition for future.
Okay.
But that would be up to the board to make that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think that covered everything.
Okay, we go to director's updates. Brianna, do you have an update for us? School started, watch out for children. Oh.
We'll slow down. Yeah, that's about it. Volleyball and football's coming up, so.
Go Vikings.
Go Vikings, get out there and support them.
Teresa,
No, I haven't.
Danielle,
So school started last Thursday. Football did start, but we do have a lot of games that were canceled.
Thanks.
Quite a few teams could not get a team together, so homecoming is actually going to be on the 17th. I think we only have 5 scheduled games.
17th of what?
October.
Okay. Cause it's normally in October.
Yeah, it's normally in October. So our homecoming game is October 17th. Volleyball has a full roster. We've even gotten the Sierra Primary completely fenced in now. There are no more open areas on our campus, which is great. It keeps our students safe.
I seen it tore that fence out.
Yeah, we
back.
tore
I
out
was
the old
wondering.
one and we made it higher and there's more gates in the back. And we've closed off the open section that was on the south side of the building. So
Do those gates have locks in the back?
they are gonna have locks, yes. We were gonna do push bars because of fire safety reasons, but the superintendent deemed it unnecessary at the time, so we've got locks. But that's my update.
Yeah, no,
Okay, I
doesn't
got-
it get us the games, the home games, because usually our volunteers are at the home games with the. in case
Most
someone
definitely, I
needs
can
it.
get that email to you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so
And
much.
it's okay, we got a universal key.
You right?
Universal key.
It's fine.
Oh,
You,
I don't have anything.
yeah, I thought of something, no, it went away.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, no problem. If there's nothing else, we'll close it, closed session. We're gonna have a closed session tonight, so our audience, we have to say goodnight to you.
I take a 5-minute break.
Yes, we'll have a 5-minute break between it, that we can go to the restroom, do whatever.
Yeah, you-
Patty.
I said, yeah, you have a nice change, Patty.
You
Yeah, I can change my.
Take
You're
care.
dumb.
Oh, I'm gonna chew it till it's yucky.
Ew.
You know, after the sweetness goes out of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, it's for exercise.
You're defining your job. It's fine.
Yeah.
You do.
Wanna go check on my kiddos?
Oh, we got babies in the car?
No, I have them at home though.
I see.
So the 16-year-old is watching the 8-year-old.
Oh, that's scary.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I'm taking a picture of you.
All right,
Well, you know what? Yes, you know,
With my hat or no hat?
I was gonna say.
with your hat on.
It's overwhelming. Do you want to go?
That went a lot faster than I thought it
Oh,
was.
you get
Huh?
it.
That went a whole lot faster than I thought it was.
I gotta
For
do
me.
other things.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna yoga too.
We are adjourned at 6:30.
Yeah, we know we gotta do closed
The closed
session
session, so we're
Yeah.
out of
at 20 till,
Oh, yeah.
at 6:35.
See, that's.
well, at 65 minutes. At 6:40, we'll try to do
Main goal is.
the rest of it
Self-sufficient. It's hard.
and use the restroom.
Am I the only one?
Oh.
I didn't drink any water. I just want to catch a quick nap.
This.
All
Can't
right,
sleep at night.
take us off the,
We're good till December.
Yeah.
Yeah.